Tarkir Dragonstorm is officially out, and it's making card prices jump in the secondary market, but a certain merc with a mouth is having a huge impact too. All this and more in this episode of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. This video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now, you can order Tarkir Dragonstorm, pre-order Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy, or find a vast number of other great items on their website. Remember, shipping is free in the US if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles. Just look in the description or comment section below for direct links to their site. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends. Welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. Like I said in the cold open, Tarkir Dragonstorm has been released, but we won't be talking about any of the new cards today since they haven't been out for a week yet. However, tomorrow we're doing a special video looking at the most expensive cards from the new products. You definitely don't want to miss that one. Even without Tarkir cards though, there's a lot to talk about today. In fact, we're going to be looking at the top 15 coldest and the top 15 hottest cards of the week instead of our normal top 10. As always, our lists are based on two pieces of criteria: the percentage change in the value of the cards as well as the change in the number of sales from week to week. We'll quickly look at the cold cards and then spend a little more time on the cards moving up in price. Quickly before we get into the details though, just one fast thing. I do want to say thank you to one of our gold patrons, and that is Omar Rodriguez. Omar, thank you so much for all your support on Patreon. It truly goes a long way. I could not do this without viewers like yourself. Thank you for supporting the channel, Omar. And now, without any further ado, let's get into it. We'll begin with our top 15 coldest cards of the week. This week, several cards that were recently spiking are moving down since sellers have brought more copies to the marketplace in an attempt to take advantage of those recent price increases. The extra inventory is causing them to move back down. Additionally, there are still a couple Ether Drift cards trying to find their price point, considering lots of that product has been opened recently. Coming in at number 15 is the Enigma Jewel. This is down $1.02 to $3.27. That's a 24% decrease. Number 14, Riptide Gearhulk, down $1.05 to $7.94. That's a 12% decrease. Number 13, Araios or Atami Ascendant, down $1.10 to $9.89. That's a 10% decrease. Recently, this was hot along with several other cards that are banned in Commander due to speculation over the possibility of changes to the ban list for the format. This week it's creeping back down though. This was number 7 on the hot list last week. This week it arrives on the cold list at number 12, Out of the Tombs, down $1.41 to $12.88. That's a 10% decrease. It's from the Warhammer 40k Necron Dynasties Commander deck. Number 11, Sabo's Web from Invasion, down $1.46 to $12.54. That's a 10% decrease. This was number 4 on the hot list 2 weeks ago. 1 week ago it landed at number 4 on the cold list. Last week it moved down a spot to number 5. And this week it moves down 5 more spots to number 10, Sister Hospitler from the Warhammer 40k Forces of the Imperium Commander deck. It's down $1.54 to $6.99. That's an 18% decrease. Number 9, Invasion of Tarkir, down $1.73 to $10.39. That's a 14% decrease. Number 8 is Masticore, down $1.92 to $15.62. That's an 11% decrease. Up 3 spots this week to number 7, we have Pest Control. It's down $1.93 to $15.66. That's an 11% decrease. Number 6 is Hordewing Scav from the Innistrad Midnight Hunt Undead Unleashed Commander deck. It's down $2.34 to $13.69. That's a 13% decrease. 2 weeks ago, this was number 7 on the hot list. A week ago, it climbed to number 4, but last week it arrived on the cold list at the 4th spot. Now it is falling 1 spot to number 5. It is Birthing Pod from New Phyrexia, down $3.93 to $25.70. That's a 13% decrease. You might remember this was moving up based on speculation that it may become unbanned in Modern, but the banned and restricted list update came and went last week, and this is still banned. Thus, Birthing Pod continues its descent back down. Number 4 is Ketchermos, the New Dawn, down $4.32 to $27.67. That's a 14% decrease. Last week, this was spiking wildly due to its interaction with the Secret Lair card Deadpool Trading card, and it came in at the number 2 spot on the hot list. This week, it retracts some as it tries to find its proper price point, and it has now arrived on the cold list at number 3, the Master Multiplied from the Doctor Who Masters of Evil Commander deck. It is down $6 to $19.99 for a 23% decrease. 1 week ago, this was number 8 on the hot list last week. It took the number 1 spot. This week, it's our number 2 cold card as it retracts some after the aggressive spike it saw last week. It is Painter Servant from Shadowmoor, down $23.24 to $78.75. That's a 23% decrease. And coming in at number 1 is Grim Monolith. It's down $35.28 to $314.80. That's a 10% decrease. All right, on to the main event with the top 15 hottest cards of the week. Coming in at number 15, Molten Duplication. It's up $2.16 to $10 for a 28% increase. This is from Outlaws of Thunder Junctions, the Big Score subset, so this card was a more difficult one to pull compared to cards from the main set. It has been seeing some commander play in several decks, like a Tilley Primal Conquer, as well as the Krark the Thumbless and Timna the Weaver partner decks, for example, but now it's getting additional play in the format thanks to a few new cards. Some players are putting this in commander builds around Zurgo Thunder's Decree, and to a lesser degree, Shiko Paragon of the Way. These are both cards from Tarkir Dragonstorm. However, the big reason Molten Duplication is spiking now is because lots of players want this for their commander decks around a new Secret Lair Marvel card that is Deadpool Trading Card. Basically, these Deadpool builds are looking for ways to make token copies of Deadpool while removing the legendary drawback with cards like the Master Multiplied, which we saw a moment ago. The Master also stops your triggered abilities from exiling or making you sacrifice your tokens. So Molten Duplication is the first of several cards spiking this week thanks to everybody's favorite Merc with a Mouth. Number 14 is Delina Wild Mage, up $2.24 to $7.51. That's a 43% increase. This is a fairly popular commander, and it's been seeing play in the 99 of several decks there, like Mr. House, President and CEO, and Ishin 2 Heavens is 1. But like the previous card, it's also getting more play now thanks to new cards. I have seen some putting this in commander decks around Nuriv, Heart of the Storm, from Tarkir Dragonstorm, but that's not the real reason Delina Wild Mage is jumping the way it is. Delina is another card many want for their Deadpool trading card commander builds, along with the Master Multiplied, and that's the true catalyst for the price increase. Number 13, The Wise Mothman. This is up $2.34 to $3.66. That's a 177% increase. This is the foil copy from the Fallout Mutant Menace commander deck. It has been a popular commander ever since it was released, and sometimes it does appear in the 99 of builds like Joda the Unifier, for example. But now this too is being pushed thanks to new cards. Some players are grabbing it to upgrade the Tarkir Dragonstorm Sultai Arisen commander deck, while others are putting in fresh builds around Taval the Balanced Scale from there, or around Taval Arbiter of Virtue from the main set. However, the biggest reason the Wise Mothman is jumping up is because the actual commander deck around the card has been improved by a couple Tarkir Dragonstorm offerings. Many of those Wise Mothman builds are now running Hallowmark Siege from the main set, and or Colossal Grave Reaver from Sultai Arisen. Number 12 is Mirror Box. It goes up $2.45 to $5.45. That's an 82% increase. This has been appearing in several commander decks like Kanala Archmage Ritualist and Orvar the Allform, for example. Now it's showing up in commander builds around Zurgo Thunder's Decree from Tarkir Dragonstorm, but who can tell me why a card that states the legend rule doesn't apply to permanents you control would possibly be spiking right now? Hey, you guessed it, players want Mirror Box for their Deadpool trading card commander decks. Number 11 is Ripples of Undeath, up $2.66 to $7.89. That's a 51% increase. This has been getting a good amount of play in commander ever since it came out. You would frequently see it in builds around Winter Cynical Opportunist and Muldroth of the Gravetide, for example. However, again, new cards are causing this to see even more play in the format, hence the price increase. Some players wanted to upgrade the Tarkir Dragonstorm, Sultai Arisen, and Abzan Armor commander decks, while others are putting in fresh builds around Taval the Balanced Scale from Sultai Arisen and Beator Ancestor's Voice from Abzan Armor. I'm also seeing Ripples of Undeath in commander decks around a couple cards from the main set, Taval Arbiter of Virtue, and Sidisi Region of the Mire. Quickly before we get to our top 10, just a fast reminder, this video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now you can order Tarkir Dragonstorm products, you can pre-order Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy products there, or you can find any number of other great items on their website, Magic related and otherwise. Remember, if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles, shipping will be free in the United States. And if you're looking for a direct link to their site, just check out the description or comment section below. I do have links posted in both of those places. And now, without any further ado, let's get to the top 10. Is he some kind of instigator or something? We have Furcrag, Cunning Instigator, coming in at number 10, up $2.84 to $6. That's a 90% increase. This is the foil copy from the Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate Draconic Descent Commander deck. It's been a fairly popular commander, and you've seen it in the 99 of builds like Miram Sentinel Worm and the Dragon, for example. As you know, Tarkir Dragonstorm has brought a ton of support for Commander Dragon decks, so it's not too surprising to see a card like this jumping now. Additionally, I've seen some getting this to upgrade the Tarkir Dragonstorm Team Aurora commander deck, while others are putting in fresh builds around Ureni of the Unwritten from there. Coming in at number 9 is Resurrection Orb. It goes up $3.10 to $14.70. That's a 27% increase. This is from the Warhammer 40k Necron Dynasties commander deck. It's been in a few commander builds like Zarek the Silent King from its pre-con and Imhotep the Stormlord, for example. Now though, this is climbing in price because many players are adding it to their commander builds around the popular Deadpool trading card. Up one spot this week to number 8, Vel'Gavoth, Harrower of Souls, up $4.56 to $16.08. That's a 40% increase. This is the foil version from the Dustborn Endless Punishment commander deck. It's still a very popular commander, and it can appear in the 99 of some builds too, like Nekuzar the Mindraiser or the Lord of Pain from its pre-con, for example. By now, though, you can probably guess why this is spiking. If you said Deadpool trading card, you are correct. Since Deadpool can trade text boxes with another creature, you can give an opponent Deadpool's upkeep trigger where they lose 3 life. Perfect if you have Vel'Gavoth, Harrower of Souls in play. Deadpool will be great in those commander decks, and I've already seen Vel'Gavoth in the 99 of deck lists around Deadpool as well. Coming in at number 7, good friend of Mr. House, President and CEO, this is Caesar, Legion's Emperor, up $5.09 to $6.38. That's a 395% increase if you're doing the math at home. This is the foil copy from the Fallout Hail Caesar commander deck. It continues to be a popular commander, and it's found in the 99 of builds like Ishin 2 Heavens as 1, for example. However, Tarkir Dragonstorm is really pushing Caesar's price this week. Some want this to upgrade the new Mardu Surge commander deck, while others want to use it for fresh builds around 2 cards from there, the front-facing commander Zurgo Stormrender, and Nuriv Crackling Vanguard. Caesar Legion's Emperor is also appearing in commander decks around a couple cards from the main set, Nuriv Heart of the Storm and Zurgo Thunder's Decree. Down one spot this week to number 6, Kethis the Hidden Hand, up $6.52 to $17.30. That's a 60% increase. This is a fairly popular commander, and it can appear in the 99 of builds at times too. Sometimes you see it in decks around Joda the Unifier, for example, but Modern is the reason Kethis is jumping right now. Recently, Underworld Breach was banned in Modern because the Grinding Station Breach decks were out of control. Well, there is another combo deck out there that runs Grinding Station and Mox Opal. That's Kethis Combo. The deck also runs 4 copies of Mox Amber and of course 4 copies of Kethis the Hidden Hand. The build can win on turn 2 occasionally, but even an average draw could allow it to go off on turn 3 or 4. We'll have to see if the format can counter, but right now Kethis is hot. Number 5, Klauth, Unrivaled Ancient, up $7.60 to $29.94. That's a 34% increase. This is the foil copy from the Adventures in the Forgotten Realms Draconic Rage commander deck. It's a solid commander, and in the 99 of some builds too, like the Dragon and Miram Sentinel Worm. Of course, this is spiking now because of all the dragon support arriving with Tarkir Dragonstorm. Cards like this, and dragon builds in general, are just better and more popular currently. Additionally, some are getting it to upgrade the Team Aurora commander deck, while others are using it for fresh new builds around a couple cards from there. Ureni of the Unwritten, and the front-facing commander, Eshki Teemer's Roar. Number 4, Orthion, Hero of Lava Brink, up $8.82 to $12.01. That's a 276% increase. This has been appearing in several commander decks like Obeka Brute Chronologist and Omnith Locus of All, but yet again this is spiking because of play it's seeing in new commander builds. The cards showing up in decks around Zurgo Thunder's Decree and Nuriv Heart of the Storm from Tarkir Dragonstorm, but by now you know what's pushing this the most: Deadpool trading card. Players want Orthion, Hero of Lava Brink in their Deadpool builds along with the Master Multiplied. Number 3, Powder Keg from Urza's Destiny. It goes up $15 to $54.99. That's a 38% increase. This is seeing a little play in legacy sideboards that deal with decks like Painter and coveted Jewel Combo. For example, I saw a copy of this in the board of a 5-color Cascade deck as well as a mono black midrange deck recently. However, pre-modern is the key driver for the price spike we see here. This is in sideboards as well as some main decks in the format to deal with problematic artifacts. Popular decks run it too, like Stifle Knot, Tide Control, mono black Clerics, and Pit Rack for example. Since Powder Keg is a reserve list card, it doesn't take much to make a jump, but the pre-modern format has continued to gain momentum, and we see the result here. Number 2 is Mirror Gallery. The Betrayers of Kamigawa copy goes up 21.53 to 27.24 this week. That's a 377% increase. The one from the list is up 23.04 to 28.95. That's a 390% increase. What could possibly be making this card spike? Oh yeah, Deadpool trading card. Commander players want Mirror Gallery in those Deadpool builds in order to enable their army of Deadpool tokens. And finally, up 5 spots this week to number 1, Determined Iteration. This is up $25.62 to $39. That is a 191% increase. This is from the Streets of New Capenna Maestro's Massacre Commander deck. It's been getting a little Commander play and builds around Mishra Eminent 1 or the Master Multiplied, for example. But now there's a lot more demand on Determined Iteration. First, some players have been adding it to Commander deck lists around a card from Tarkir Dragonstorm. That's Zurgo Thunder's Decree. Secondly, and most importantly, do I even need to say it? Others want Determined Iteration in their Commander builds around Deadpool trading card. We've seen it before. Determined Iteration will get you Deadpool tokens, and the Master Multiplied will make it so they are not legendary and prevent you from sacrificing them at the end step. This strategy works whether Deadpool or the Master Multiplied is your commander. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch, but join us tomorrow. We're going to be looking at those Tarkir Dragonstorm cards, the most expensive ones that you're going to find in Commander decks as well as the main sets. Until then, though, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.